What is up, everybody, and welcome back to my promised video, which is how to choose the right college. So this is the most loaded question and feels like literally the biggest decision of your life. And trust me, I've been through it. I've felt all the different emotions. I had to choose my college just about a year ago, and I thought I had this whole plan together, and then so much changed so quickly. So I have a list of what happened with me, my story of how I choose my colleges, and then at the end I'm going to be giving you a list of 10 questions that should help make the decision for you and should really clarify what you're looking for in making the right decision. I just want to preface this that wherever you end up, you can make it work out for you. I know that so many different situations and you feel like it's the end of the world, might not be your top choice, all these different things, but wherever you are, as long as you just try to make friends, try to join clubs, try to do all this sort of stuff, you'll have a great experience, I promise that. And if not, then you just transfer. It's like people make that so much more big of a deal than it needs to be. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about how to choose the right college and how I chose my right college. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. If you're not already, subscribe down below because I'll be moving to college in less than a week, like 5 days. I'm moving back. I'm so excited. So if you want to see all my college vlogs, those will be coming very soon. So without further ado, I'm not wasting your time. Let's get right into the video. First things first. I wanted a lot of things for college. So initially when I applied to college, I had one in mind. I was planning on going to NC State, and I was like dead set. I had done their summer program, I had made friends, I got accepted in about December, and I was so excited. I got all like the merch, I was like getting my roommate, signing housing contracts, I was like ready to go to that school. And there's a lot of factors such as like financial things, and they ended up not giving me a ton of money. And so I was like, what are we gonna do? So how my college process went, I applied to all of my colleges pretty much by November 1st through November 15th. I wanted to apply early action so I knew early and had enough time to make a very strong decision, but if you don't do that, that's totally okay. So I applied early. The first school I heard back from was the University of Delaware, and I got a big fat yes, and I was like, yay, this is great. I was accepted in my first college, and my parents were like, well, at least you'll go somewhere. At that point, I wasn't really dead set on Delaware. I just kind of applied, and I didn't really know where that was going to go. And then a couple weeks later I got into VCU, and I didn't really want to go there because it was too close and I just wasn't crazy about it. Then I got into NC State, which was my dream school at the time. I went on that campus and I was like, I'm in love with it here. Lots of friends, good environment, I really like it. And then that was December. I was pretty much set. After I got in, I was like, I'm set. Nothing could change my mind unless they really don't give me a ton of scholarship money and I'm not able to do that sort of thing. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. We're just going to be fully committing to NC State, put it out in the universe, hopefully it'll come back to me. And so I got into NC State, and then, so this whole period, we're thinking I'm going to NC State. I by then had gotten my financial package from University of Delaware, and they had given me quite a lot of money, but I was like, I don't really know. They didn't seem like they had anything crazy out of the blue. I didn't really do my research. I didn't tour the school. I really didn't do any of that stuff, which was red flag number one. But I didn't really do anything for Delaware, so it was kind of in the back of my mind. I wasn't really thinking about it. And so I was getting some financial packages. Nothing was crazy outstanding. Then I got my financial package from NC State, and they did give me money. But for their out-of-state school, it's $45,000, and so their $5,000 scholarship really wasn't doing me too much. And so I was like, oh, what do I do? And so my parents were like, well, if you want to go to this school, financially, we can figure out some way to do it. You can work for different scholarships again. You can try all these different things. But I was like, I don't really know. There's a lot going on. But then, out of the blue, FIT, which was my dream school, but it was my crazy reach school. FIT is the best fashion school in the country, and so I was like, there's no way I'm getting in here. I'm like, it's just up in the clouds. It's not even gonna happen. Then one day I get an email, just chilling in my bedroom, no idea it was gonna come, and then it was like, surprise, you got into FIT, and I was like, what am I gonna do now? And so at this point, I still was kind of am I going to NC State? Delaware and VCU were in the back there. I wasn't even thinking about them. And now I have FIT coming to the front burner. Here you go. You got accepted to the best fashion school for your mate. Literally, it's the best. So what are you gonna do? And I was like, well, there's a lot of things to consider. First of all, NC State is completely opposite than New York City for FIT. So I was like, I can either have this typical college experience, Greek lives, going to all these different parties, being able to do that side of college, the typical college experience, but then on the other side of it we have New York City, and so that's going to fashion weeks all the time, or like working with brands, great internship opportunities, so a lot of major specific things. And so at that point, I was really sitting down and I was like, I cannot decide. I was so stressed for like over a week. I was like, where on earth do I go to school? I was like, do I spend more money and go to the school that I have friends, a roommate, connections, and things like that, and the traditional college experience, or do I drop everything, go someplace new? It was still a little bit more expensive than the University of Delaware and VCU, but I was like, that's New York City. I get that whole experience, the best in the country. I'm like, I have two very different things here, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pick. They're polar opposites, and both of them I want. And so I was like, I don't know what on earth I was gonna do. And so in the middle of the night, it was literally 3 a.m. I'm sitting on my bed, like, I am so stressed. I'm like, I cannot fall asleep. It's 3 in the morning. I'm like, I have to decide what I'm doing for school within the next like week and a half, because decision day was coming up, and I was like, what on earth do I do? And I am just scrolling through. I was like, let me just look up Delaware. Let me look up its stats. Let me look up some other things, like what programs it has, like who knows. And lo and behold, because I didn't do any research, if I had done any research previous to this, I would have known, and my decision would have been so much easier, but I didn't. I didn't do that. Pretty much, the University of Delaware has a visiting student program, and so if you're interested in the same thing as I am, going to FIT and like as a visiting student, look for schools. There's quite a few schools that do that with schools in foreign countries or like all across like the country. Like there's all different programs that offer this. University of Delaware is a visiting program with FIT, which means during your junior year you can apply to be an FIT and you will get your associate's degree from FIT in just 1 year, from your UD curriculum being kind of like bridged in, and then my FIT curriculum will go towards my bachelor's at University of Delaware. And so I'm in the middle of the night and I'm like, what on earth, why didn't I know this? Which meant that I could go to University of Delaware, get the traditional experience, I get Greek life, get football games, all that sort of stuff, but then I also, for my junior year, get to go to New York City, make those connections, be at the best school, like go to those fashion shows, work at those internships, things like that, and then be able to bridge the gap between both, which means I get literally the best of both worlds. And so this was all found out at 3 a.m., so obviously there's no action I could do with this, but I pretty much was like so excited. I started looking up UD merch. I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm committing to University of Delaware. And so the next morning, I woke up bright and early, and I walked up to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I've made my decision where I'm going to college. I'm ready to commit right now. And she was like, where are you going? I was like, I'm committing to the University of Delaware. And she was like, what? She thought I was joking because I obviously had not talked about Delaware since like 10 years ago when I got into the school. And so she was kind of shocked, and everyone was just like, what? And so I committed that day, having never seen the school, and obviously during COVID I wasn't able to visit the school, and so it was kind of like a crazy like jump. I was like, oh, I'm gonna show up on the first day moving in, never seeing the school. And so that was crazy for me, but the thing is I got onto the campus and I loved it so much, and I just love the school, I love the people, like I love the environment, everything about it is perfect, and I know I made the right decision because I did that extra research. If I didn't do that extra research or try a little bit, I would have never known. Like it's literally crazy, like it's crazy. I told all these people that I went to University of Delaware, and I'm from Virginia, so that's kind of an odd location to go, and everyone was a little bit shocked, but I was like, it's the best of both worlds, it's everything that I want, and it just has worked out for me, and I'm so grateful that I picked the way I did, and I feel so confident in the decision I made, and my school just feels so right, and I feel like because of the questions I asked myself, I was able to find the perfect school for me. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now that I've blabbed on about me for a while and all the things that have made me create the right decision to become a blue hen, I'm going to talk about how you can pick the right college and you can just feel very comfortable in your choice, and some things you really should consider when picking, because you don't want these things to stress on you leading up or once you get there and figure them out there. So as you heard in my story, do your research. Literally, if you're not fully informed about a school, you might not know the potential it could have for you. So like for some people it's like, I want to do a sport. If that school like doesn't have that capability or might have a better capability for you to do that, that might make things a little bit easier. You need to be fully aware of all the options and give them all equal opportunity. The problem that I had made was I put NC State above the rest of them, that I didn't even consider my other schools until the last minute, which caused a ton of problems and a lot of things to come up that could have been resolved so much earlier if I had only known and been prepared. So that's the first thing. There's a couple things that I kind of considered were like the big three that I think about like in general when I'm choosing a college. So you want to think about rankings for your major specifically. So is it the best for your department? Does it not have a great reputation for your major because you are going for education? You do want to make sure that is something that's really important to you. You got to make sure, can you financially afford it? Like, is it possible for you to go here financially, or you're going to be taking out years of loans? Or is it something that you're going to have to work all through college? All those different things. And location, does the location make sense for you? So those are kind of like the big three, but I'm going to dive into 10 actual questions of helping you decide. So if you have a pen and pencil, what I recommend you doing right now is listing all the schools here. So listing all the places you could possibly go, and then listing 1 through 10 at the top, and you want to have the most check boxes for that school. So pretty much that's what I did. The school that checked the most boxes for me was a school I attended, and obviously if you don't care about one of these questions, just count it out. Okay, so let's do it. The first question, do you want to be in-state? This is a big one. If you applied out-of-state and you're like, no, I want to be in-state, that's going to eliminate a lot of choices off the bat. So some of these questions might be non-negotiables. You're like, I don't care. Make sure you know what you're willing to compromise for and what you're not willing to compromise for. Next up, do you want to know people? I know when I went to college, I did not want to know a single person, and I know absolutely no one going to the University of Delaware. When I get there, I started completely fresh, but I'm very outgoing, very social, so not everyone's like that. So if you're someone who needs to have people that you rely on, and you need people to already know going into the college experience, be prepared, go to a school that allows you to do that. 3, can you afford it? / are you willing to sacrifice financially to attend? So is it something that you're willing to pay that extra money to go to? Like, are you willing to pay to go? See, like for NC State, I was not willing to spend over $10K extra a year to go to the school that still wasn't providing me everything I wanted. And so that was something that I had to realize, and took a while for me to just like accept and move on from, and so that's something definitely to consider. Is it respected for your major? Like I said earlier, how does it rank for your major? University of Delaware was the first school to ever create a sustainable fashion focused program, and so that was like really something that I wanted, and FIT is the best in the country, so for me those options make sense. 5, do you feel safe there? Like I said, go on a tour, do your research, do virtual tours. I know we're in the middle of COVID, but when you're on campus, do you feel somewhere that it's safe? Not only like physically safe, but you feel like there's people who are kind and people who you'll fit in with, and you'll feel like you'll have a group. Number 6 is, do you feel like home? Sometimes there's like a click moment when you're there, you're like, this just feels like it, and you won't have that every time. Sometimes that's something that gets built over time once you're there. For places like FIT, I walked into that building and I was like, I will go here. This is like my home. I know this is where I'm supposed to be. And that's just a feeling that you have to get, and that's something you'll just know. 7, are there groups or activities you can join? Like I said, if you're into sports, if you have different clubs you want to do, can you join them? For me, at University of Delaware, they had a theater program, and I do musical theater at high school, and I love doing it, but a lot of these universities have theater programs, and it makes it a lot more competitive to get cast in shows. But at the University of Delaware, there's no theater major, so the club is all run by kids who like theater and just doing that sort of stuff, so it's not as crazy competitive, which I really loved, and so that's something that I got involved in really quickly. And then we also have a club gymnastics team, which was something I could get involved in, and I didn't have to do it as crazy competitive as some people would, which is really nice. Do they have Greek life? Not everyone wants Greek life, but if you do, that should be something you should know ahead of time. Does the school check that box? If it does, going. And 9, do they have sports? Do you want a sports team? So I knew in New York City, FIT didn't have a football team, which is something I want to do, game days and all that sort of stuff. University of Delaware does. So that for me worked out. So if that's something you care about, make sure you know that. And then 10, job opportunities in the school and in the future. So my school does a lot of work creating internship opportunities and job opportunities like right off the bat, starting your freshman year and getting you involved with those. And at FIT, it's a huge factor for them. Getting everyone an internship is pretty much required. So that is something that is huge in picking your college, because you don't want to go to college and then enjoy college, have fun with it, and then you go nowhere from it. You want to actually have a future and plan. And so yeah, that was the last question. So while obviously this isn't perfect, this won't obviously always fix your problem, this won't solve your problems for you, it should give you a good idea of what you should be looking for. Again, do your research, find other people to talk to who are at the college. Like if you look up UD or wherever you want to go, say you want to go to University of Virginia, look up people who go there and just text them and be like, hey, like the Instagram DM, and be like, hi, I'm looking at this school, what do you love about it? Or what do you recommend for a new student coming in, and just talking to people, especially a lot of small YouTubers do it, like how I am. I've had quite a few people text me about UD and asking me all these questions, and I really feel like that helps them feel more comfortable, and so that's just very important. I can't give you the proper formula, but this is what worked for me, checking those boxes and feeling like what made the most sense. And then once you decide, being very sure about what you committed to. So if you are committed, commit all the way, or else you're going to feel like you're missing something the whole time. So when I got to Delaware, at first it was really hard because all my friends were at NC State. They moved in about a month earlier, and I was like, oh, should I have gone to NC State? Should I have gone to NC State? And then the moment I got to UD, I couldn't be thinking about NC State because I had to be fully committed to UD, because there's so many people who their dream school was UD, or all of these different things. And then once I've like proned in on focusing on UD, having a ton of school spirit, like being ready for college, all that sort of stuff, that's when I really started to enjoy it. And that's why I think my experience at college has been so successful, is because once I committed, I was fully committed. And so that's my advice for you. Once you commit, fully commit. You guys got this. Don't stress it too much. If worst comes to worst, you transfer and you just know what didn't work for you. So I believe in you guys. You can pick your college. If you want to talk through it with me, feel free to DM me in my Instagram. Like, really, I'm down to talk to any of you guys. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. Good luck on your journey. You totally got this. Let me know if this helped you in the comment section below. And yeah, with that being said, I love you all, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and subscribe down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later.